Well, hello there and welcome to the Okanagan Forest Channel. Today we are going to make fresh bread on the Deadwood stove. In fact, we have Bannock right now in here and it's cooking. And we'll turn it over in a few minutes and you'll get to see that. But while I'm doing that, let me talk about my Deadwood stove for just a minute. You know, I know of no other rocket stove that has, you may not be able to see it real clearly in the video, but that has these adjustments on the legs. Now, I'm sitting on a relatively flat deck right now, but still, it's wobbly. Now, before I put my pan on there to cook, I can adjust those legs. And I know of no other rocket stove in production that has that unique feature, where whenever you're camping on uneven ground or in a place where you need to have it flat so that your pan will cook properly, you can adjust the legs. I'm getting smoked out here a little bit, so let's turn this over here for just a minute. Add a little more fuel. See how we're doing. You know, this particular rocket stove has a number of special features, and one of the things I like is the way this grate opens. When I have my pan down on there, it distributes the heat around evenly. It's not like a lot of those rocket stoves where it's all hot right in one little jet fuel area and the rest of the stove just doesn't work very well. So I'm one happy camper. You know, the Deadwood stove has a wonderful name. Of course, you may know that Deadwood was one of the most famous pioneer frontier towns here in North America. But it also, it harkens back to that time when people really had to fend for themselves and be self-reliant, something preppers and survivalists today should consider, because they had to do it for necessity, not for fashion. Well, let's take the lid off this, put it down there, and you can see my Bannock cooking. And looks like it's doing pretty good. We're going to leave it on there a little longer. Let me tell you what's in here. We have 2 cups of Bob's Red Mill whole wheat flour. We have 2 tablespoons of baking soda. About half a tablespoon of salt. And a half a cup of raisins. Now, with this stove, and cooking in a pan like this, it's not quite like in the oven. You use a little bit more oil, and you really want to move it around a little bit so that it'll cook. But the trick is, keep the oil in the pan, and when it cooks about halfway through, it's important once you get your batter in there that you want about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. And then, once it's cooked good on one side, you flip it over on the other side and let it cook on the other side for a while. And that's basically it. Now, Bannock was a staple, very important staple of people on the Lewis and Clark expedition. You know, those French voyagers that hauled furs across northern Canada in canoes, they lived on Bannock. And people who crossed the Oregon Trail and any number of other places, they were able to do Bannock. Of course, making pancakes is easy, but you get tired of them. So you might want to get on the internet and take a look at all the different choices you can do with Bannock. Now let's see if we can turn this over and you can see what it looks like on this one side. Here we go. Look at that, golden brown. I'm going to put a little more oil in the pan, then I'll put the lid on. And I just want to tell you, what a fun thing to do, and what a delicious treat. Did I say that I also put in 2 tablespoons of sugar? I think I forgot that. So we've got raisins, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, about 1/2 tablespoon of salt, and 2 cups of whole wheat flour. And of course, you can cook this on any open campfire, but with a Deadwood stove, look at that. We're just going to put that there like that, put the lid back on, and let it cook a little bit more. Doesn't make all the noise hamburgers do, but I'll tell you, Bannock was probably just about as important as a good tomahawk in days of yore. And those of us who want to go camping and have fun and want to have fresh bread in camp, this is a great choice. Bannock is absolutely wonderful as choice, and if you get on the internet you can see all kinds of different examples of it. Look at that golden brown texture on top. We'll just let that sit there and cook. By the way, you don't need to have a lid. You can just use any old frying pan. This is my favorite frying pan for my stove. I don't hear a lot of heat coming up from there now, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. It's still hot. I'm going to take this off for just a minute. Oh my goodness, it's cooking beautifully. There's lots of fuel down in there and almost no smoke at all. Let's adjust it a little bit. Make sure we get there. Yeah, look at that. That's the Deadwood stove for you. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, let's put that up here. You know, there's a lot of generic rocket stoves out there, and I did a lot of research on them, but I've never found anything that works as good as this. Not just for cooking meat and stew and easy stuff like that, but fresh bread in camp, in a primitive wilderness survival camp, having fresh Bannock, what a great thing to have. Well, my daughter and I are just about ready to have some fresh bread, so I want to wish you well, and if you have any comments, you send them to us. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Take a good look at the Deadwood stove. Nobody's paying me to tell you this. I just did the research before, and it's so much fun. I'm just having more fun than I can describe to you with it. And it works great. It works on yard debris. That's all this stuff is. This box of fuel down here, just yard debris. I made this Bannock for pennies, and we'll enjoy it for the next day and a half or so. Now you be good and have a nice day.